The tip for today is around positioning. So how you should look at your brand and where it sits in the market. What we typically want to do as marketers is, and this is a little insight into how we work as we work with brands in more depth and our own brands and everyone we're helping, is you typically want to position above the market you're actually selling to. Now, just to get our head around that, what does that mean? It means that people have to see they get that level of quality, expertise, value for this price. That's when they may make a purchase. Basically, I have to see more value in your product or service that I get from you than I see in the money I hand you. That's when you have happy customers. A happy customer is someone who feels they got more value than the money they spent, equals happy customer. So you need to make sure that you show people the value they get and you do position yourself as this really good top shelf quality thing for any market you're selling to. One strategy we often use, which is pretty fun, is we use something called a price anchor, which we've had a bit of fun with over the years. That's one strategy, which is basically the brand and positioning is above the market you're selling to, but we've also used this strategy called a price anchor, which is, it's one of many things. But this is the example of where someone like a brand like Gucci might create a $500,000 handbag from time to time to help them sell $2,000 or $3,000 handbags, the lower end, because it creates this perception of a world-class brand, a world-class quality of that level of skill, that level of expertise that can do something so exquisitely amazing, valued at that, but I can get at that access to that expertise at this rate, well, now I'm getting a deal. So it creates this beautiful contrast, but it also creates a position of expertise. And it's not only products that can do this, service businesses can do it. We've done it with lots of different products, different services, where it could be a product from like a jeweler, even a sandwich store that did a super high-end toasted sandwich, which worked really well, generated media. We've right through to service people who even property buyers and things where it's like a really handheld process where it's a high level offering and so on, and they can charge themselves out at a super high hourly rate. Then they helps them sell their regular rates as well. So that's called a price anchor, and it's an extra little positioning tool that you could go ahead and have a think about whether you could apply that to your own business.
This also ties in super well with a question that we got sent in, and that is, how do I write a really good job ad in order to attract the right talent? And so when you write a job ad, you want to use the same principle of perception and positioning. You want to position your company as something that people want to work for, and hopefully they do. It's not just about perception, it's about real perception, not perceived perception, but real perception and real value. So what you want to do is, when you write a job ad, you want to do it the same way as you write any advertisement for a product or a service. That's how you also write your job ad. So of course it starts with a headline, and the headline is something that is attention grabbing and engaging. And then I have a job ad here that we have used. The first few lines you want to then engage. So the headline can be something like, for us here it was a business development rockstar, opportunity to be part of a thriving team. And then engage the reader, the person, with a few questions. Do you love talking to people? Do you get excited about the idea of helping small business owners to have greater success? So a few questions. And then the next part, you then want to sell your company. So talk a little bit about your company, so a bit about us. And that's where you sell your company, and you really want to, of course, again, share what your company is all about and what is your vision, why are you doing what you're doing? Because you want people that want to join you on your vision, in your mission. And then the next part is about the role. So here's a little bit about the role. The next part, we usually say about you, and we have a few sentences about the person we're looking for. So you love talking to people, you're outgoing, resourceful, you have a can-do attitude, and you are self-motivated, etc. And then the last part is the details, so it could be the salary and how you want them to apply. So the answer to the question how to do a great job ad to attract the right person is write your ad as if you're writing an advertisement for a product or a service. Just put effort into making it appealing, making your company in this job appealing, and you will attract greater talent.
It's worth it to get the better talent. You obviously want the better your talent it is. One person who's an amazing team member, we all know it could be worth 5 times what an average team member's worth. So it's worth putting in the extra effort, and it's worth growing your team and trying to attract the best of the best in your field.
Exactly. And now talking teams, we of course here at Basic Maths we do a lot of team training and innovation sessions, and we recently did an innovation session with Aga, and we are going to show you now a little bit behind the scenes of this innovation session that we did, looking at how we can be more productive.
Let's do it.
Okay, the qualities of a smart team players are basically, we are as a smart team player, we're purposeful, and that means that we're focusing on looking at what we need to focus on and really choosing the right tasks to work on, that we're working on the tasks that are making the biggest impact. We're also mindful, and mindful means mindful of what we're working on, but then also mindful of how's my behavior impacting the other person. So for example, when we have interruptions during the day, how's that impacting the other person within my team? We are reliable, and that means that if we say that we're going to do something, we actually follow through with it. And we are also punctual, and that means punctual when we have to be at meetings, punctual delivering tasks, just punctual with our promises. And by doing that, by really looking at having these 4 characteristics as a team player, we create impact because we are working on the right tasks and we are reliable, we're following through what we're promising, we're creating impact with the work we're doing. By being purposeful, working on the right tasks and being mindful of the other person, we're incredibly focused. By being punctual and being mindful of the other people in our team, we're creating respect. We're respecting each other as people and as team players. And by being punctual and being reliable, we're creating trust within our team.
That was a super fun session, and everyone got so into it.
Cool,
And
hey?
yeah, the brainstorming was amazing, and everyone was really on the same page to really create more principles around productivity. And we're going to continue running these sessions every quarter. Now, do you have a book recommendation?
Yes, book recommendation for this episode.
Awesome.
I'm actually going to share 2. Is that all right?
Do it. Why not?
Marketing related. One that's called Predictably Irrational. It's written by a guy called Dan Ariely. But basically he's like a psychologist, I think he is. He's a university professor, but he applies the mindset, lessons and basically tests on humans in relation to marketing and selling and generating business for products and services. So it's pretty cool. Like in terms of doing tests, they might set up like a market store where they'll sell a bunch of stuff at a certain price, then they'll set up the exact same products on a different market store with total different pricing and see what sells better and most. Like, it's really, really cool. It's called Predictably Irrational. I think anyone in business should read the book.
It is a great book.
And then another book for creative people in a creative space, like us having to write books ourselves and come up with ideas and things, and lots of people in creative industries and creative spaces. A great book is called War of Art. Not the art of war, it's the war of art. It's the other way around. And this is not a mistake. It actually is called that, the war of art. It's about the challenges people have, creative people, of how to create the time, how to create the space to be creative, allow it to happen. It's a super awesome book because it just opens it up and you realise you're not the only alien out there that battles against your own trying to make time for it. And it references how really creative people throughout, history and so on have created space to be creative and how they actually almost manufacture it in their day to make sure it happens. So a really cool book. I really enjoyed that one too, and I think you will too if you are in the creative space.
Thank you so much. They're both really great books.
So now we've got a word of wisdom. So let's hear from you.
Yeah, I have been a little bit obsessed lately with Stoicism, and one of my friends in South Africa gave me this book called The Daily Stoic. And
The Daily Stoic.
yeah, and there is one quote. So basically Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy that teaches sort of the development of self-control and how to overcome negative or destructive emotions. So how to be a little bit more in control. And one guy, a Stoic guy, his name is Seneca, and his quote that I quite like is, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." And what I like about it is that you want to be prepared when opportunity knocks on the door. So you can, in business also, you can do things to get yourself prepared to when the big opportunity comes. So rather than just sitting back and waiting and hoping for luck to strike, you can actually do a few things in order to be prepared. So whether that is, let's say you're pitching for, or you're hoping in the future to pitch for investments, into your company, you might already have the conversations with the right people or put together the presentation. So just for then, when you do have these important meetings, that you're prepared. So that's really a lesson that I think is a good one for business too. So
That's awesome.
get prepared, because if you get prepared and you take action, you will most likely get lucky, and luck is often in your hands. So do it. Let's just do it. Do it. What's Branson's quote?
There we go.
Do it. Screw it. Just do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, that's been awesome. So if you have questions or anything, or you'd like to see any of your questions or any tips delivered in future episodes, let us know what you'd like to hear from us. You can post through at any of the email addresses or comment on any of our social media channels, and we'll look after every question, every comment, and get back to you there. Until next time, bye.